Welcome back to WWH. My name is Andrew Dreamer, and today we're diving into a cult classic that's as cheesy as it is creepy. Killer Klowns from Outer Space. This 80s gem is a wild ride of cotton candy cocoon shadow puppet shows and killer popcorn, all wrapped up in a neon nightmare. If you're ready to have your coulrophobia, and that's the fear of clowns, put to the ultimate test, grab your favorite circus snack and settle in for another episode of Ringside Review. Killer Klowns was released in 1988 and directed by Stephen Chiodo, who wrote the film with his two brothers. These three made this film for around $2 million, but I don't think the low budget really affects the movie very much. This movie knows exactly what it is, and they lean into that very heavily, which to me only elevates the film. It's a perfect example of what a B-movie should be. Goofy, but fun. And here's the thing, I had never even seen this movie before now. I know that was a pretty big hole in my horror education, but it has been remedied. With the recent release of the video game, I thought that this was just the perfect time to talk about this movie. But what exactly did I think about Killer Klowns from Outer Space? Grab your popcorn, your cotton candy, and make your way to your seat. Let's head down to the ring and find out. Mike Tobacco and his girlfriend Debbie Stone are parked with other couples at the local Lover's Lane just outside of Crescent Cove. Suddenly, they spot this weird glowing thing falling from the sky. Nearby farmer Gene Green sees it too and thinks it's Halley's Comet. He heads into the woods with his dog Pooh to check it out and then finds a huge circus tent that certainly wasn't there before.
I don't know, Pooh. You know, there's something kind of peculiar around here.
Inside, he's captured by these creepy aliens that look like clowns. Mike and Debbie, curious about what's happening, follow Gene into the woods, and then they enter the weird structure and find this bizarre setup inside. They quickly realize it's not a tent at all, but a spaceship.
I don't believe in UFOs. But if they do exist, then we're trapped in one right now.
I mean, will you just calm down? There's got to be a logical explanation for this.
They also find somebody trapped in one of the cotton candy-like cocoons. Suddenly, a clown spots them and shoots popcorn at them with some kind of crazy bazooka. Two clowns, one with a freaky balloon dog, start chasing them. Mike and Debbie, adrenaline pumping, manage to narrowly escape the clutches of the clowns and speed towards the police station. But not before we get one of my favorite lines in this movie.
Popcorn, why? Popcorn!
Because the clowns, that's why!
They frantically explain the bizarre encounter to an officer who happens to be Debbie's ex-boyfriend, Dave Hansen, and his skeptical partner, Curtis Mooney. Eager to prove the incredible story, Mike takes David back to the site of the spaceship landing, only to discover a gaping crater and no trace of the strange vessel. Their investigation then leads them back to the Lover's Lane, now eerily empty, where all the parked cars are mysteriously cocooned in the same cotton candy-like substance from before.
That's the stuff! That's the stuff that I was telling you about that was all wrapped around Joe Lombardo. Where'd you get that?
Over that Jeep over there.
By the way, don't forget to body slam that subscribe button so you never miss any of the heart-pounding, chill-inducing 5-star matches we have here at WWH. We're not just wrestling with horror. We're delivering it to your screen every week. Meanwhile, the clowns wreak havoc in the town, encasing unsuspecting townspeople in cocoons with their bizarre ray guns, turning the once peaceful streets into a circus of terror. Their twisted pranks and grotesque circus acts, seemingly performed for their own amusement, leave a trail of death and fear in their wake. Mike and Dave, while investigating strange occurrences, witness a clown using a bizarre form of shadow puppetry to shrink a group of unsuspecting people at a bus stop. This is one of my absolute favorite parts of the movie because of the way that it's shot. These unfortunate victims are then unceremoniously dumped into a bag of popcorn, which is later revealed to be the clown's preferred method for storing their larval forms. Back at the police station, another clown arrives, seemingly oblivious to the chaos it has caused. Officer Mooney, unaware of the true nature of these extraterrestrial beings, is killed in the process. I've got to say this here. John Vernon, who plays Officer Mooney, was a great character actor, but the movie I most associate him with is Ernest Goes to Camp, where he plays the guy basically trying to, destroy the camp. I just had to throw that in there. Dave, then returning to the station, is horrified to discover the clown using a now deceased Mooney as a ventriloquist's dummy. In a desperate attempt to stop the clown's reign of terror, Dave takes aim and fires back at the clown's vulnerable nose. This proves to be the clown's Achilles heel as it begins to spin wildly out of control before ultimately exploding into a shower of confetti. Mike, seeking help from his friends, the Terenzi brothers, devises a plan to warn the unsuspecting townspeople of the impending danger. Utilizing the public address system on the Terenzi's ice cream truck, they drive through the streets broadcasting urgent warnings about the clowns. Meanwhile, in Debbie's house, the clown's larvae from a previous encounter undergo a rapid transformation, evolving into juvenile clowns and launching an attack on her. As Debbie tries to escape, she is intercepted by the clowns who entrap her in a colossal balloon. Mike, Dave, and the Terenzi brothers witness Debbie's capture and immediately pursue the clowns to their new base of operations, the local amusement park where their ship now rests. Venturing into a labyrinthine funhouse, the Terenzi brothers become separated from the group. Dave and Mike press on, eventually infiltrating the ship where they witness a gruesome scene, a clown using a drinking straw to extract the blood of a gelatinized townsperson. Determined to save Debbie, they free her from her balloon prison and continue their escape deeper into the ship's depths. Deep within the clown ship, Mike, Dave, and Debbie find themselves surrounded by a menacing legion of the clowns. Just when their situation seems dire, the Terenzi brothers arrive in their trusty ice cream truck, utilizing its PA system to create a cacophony of noise that distracts the extraterrestrial clowns. Suddenly, a colossal marionette-like clown called Jojo the Clownzilla emerges, its imposing figure dwarfing the ice cream truck. With a devastating blow, Jojo destroys the truck, seemingly killing the Terenzi brothers in the process. In the ensuing chaos, Dave acts as a diversion, allowing Mike and Debbie to escape moments before the clown ship takes flight. Not one to give up so easily, Dave uses his police badge as a makeshift weapon, piercing Jojo's sensitive nose. This unexpected attack proves fatal for Jojo, causing the ship to plummet back to Earth in a fiery explosion. As the dust settles, the clown ship falls from the sky, and Dave emerges alongside the Terenzi brothers, who miraculously survive by seeking refuge in the ice cream truck's freezer just before its destruction. As the group stands together, mesmerized by the dazzling fireworks display created in the destruction of the clown ship, a cascade of pies falls right out of the sky, landing squarely on the faces of Dave, Mike, and Debbie. Alright, so there have been talks of a sequel for years now, and personally, I hope we actually get it. The biggest reason that we haven't yet just kind of comes down to rights. But from the research I did, it seems like they're headed in the direction of making the sequel into a mini-series, and we may just be headed to the home planet of the clowns, so we'll see what happens, but I'm all for it. It's almost time to dive into the positives and negatives, but first we do have to take a short break, so stick around for more WWH action. If you're looking to save 20% from Redcon 1, all you have to do is type in code AndrewDreamer12 at checkout and you will immediately receive the discount. Also, head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/AndrewDreamer and check out our new t-shirt design. Go get yourself one. And lastly, head over to Patreon to consider becoming a member of the WWH Universe. There are a lot of cool perks and we would love to have you. Killer Klowns From Outer Space is a cult classic B-movie that embraces its absurdity with a gleeful abandon. From the moment the titular clowns arrive on Earth in their circus tent spaceship, it's clear that this isn't your average alien invasion flick. The film delights in subverting expectations, trading laser beams and high-tech weaponry for cotton candy cocoons and deadly popcorn guns. The clowns themselves are a sight to behold, with their garish makeup, oversized shoes, and unnerving grins. They're equal parts menacing and hilarious, dispatching their victims in increasingly outlandish ways. One scene has a clown using a shadow puppet to terrorize people, while another sees a group of clowns turning their victims into grotesque balloon animals. It's the kind of over-the-top gore that's so ridiculous it's impossible not to laugh. But what truly sets Killer Klowns apart is its infectious sense of fun. The film never takes itself too seriously, reveling in its own silliness. The dialogue is cheesy, the special effects are delightfully low budget, and the plot is full of holes. But none of that matters because the film is just so damn entertaining. It's a celebration of B-movie schlock, a reminder that sometimes the most enjoyable films are the ones that don't take themselves too seriously. And that's why I love it. And I can't forget to mention the fantastic score by John Massari, as well as the title song written and performed by the Dickies. While Killer Klowns from Outer Space is a beloved cult classic, it's not without its flaws. But I do want to preface this by saying that none of it makes me like the movie any less. The dialogue, it's not great. The effects look pretty cheap at some points, and the plot, it's not airtight. For example, the scene where Debbie showers takes like 20 minutes of screen time. Now, in the world of the movie, that seems like it could even be hours. There are scenes where you can see the crew or equipment in the shots, and there are some ADR issues as well. And to be perfectly honest, it feels like I'm just grasping at straws to even say any of this. All in all, I love this movie, and I'm ashamed that I waited so long to watch it. I love goofy, schlocky horror when it's done right. And this is done exactly right. It's exactly what you expect, and I think you're missing out if you haven't seen it. But that is going to wrap up this episode of Ringside Review. If you enjoyed this look at Killer Klowns from Outer Space, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss any of the action here at WWH. Check out the links in the description as well. There's a lot of good stuff there. And remember, in the squared circle of horror, there's no count out for nightmares. My name is Andrew Dreamer, and this is Wrestling with Horror.